Guys, let me tell you the truth. Passion is not the only ingredient that you need for a successful career. In fact, majority of the people that I know who have followed their passion in the traditional sense, now 10, 15 years later, now that we're hitting our 30s, they are feeling regret because they realize that, look, this passion thing is not the thing that's paying my bills. There's so many other things that I need, and this thing that I'm doing that I thought was my passion is not getting me there. The mantra follow your passion is a cliche that most of us have heard many, many times in our lives. And this chart over here shows you how many times that word has been used in books since the 1970s. And for me, it's literally the most rubbish thing that you can say to someone who is trying to figure out their career path because it is so simplistic. In this video, I'm going to explain the reason why following your passion is the absolute worst advice and what you should be doing instead, because there are many, many ways for you to find a career that fulfills you. And it's not just about your passion, because as we all know, love is not the only thing that makes a relationship successful. And it's the same thing for your career. Your passion is not the only thing that's going to make you happy with the work that you do. So let's dive right into it. Look, there is some truth in the saying. However, the reason why it doesn't help most of us is that some people can't figure out what their passions are, and others like me at some point couldn't figure out what exactly I should pick as my true passion because I had so many interests. And the problem with telling people, follow your passion, is the fact that if they don't know or they're not certain about what it is that drives them or what makes them happy or what this passion is, then they can feel like they're lost, they're confused, and they're stuck because everyone else seems to know there's one thing that they're passionate about and they can't figure it out. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the things that you need to be considering instead of this all-encompassing passion thing that everyone is talking about. If you're new to this channel, my name is Dels. I'm a lawyer, career coach, and entrepreneur who is passionate about helping high achievers who feel stuck and unhappy in work that they no longer enjoy to transition from those spaces into building careers or businesses that they absolutely love. If that sounds like something that you're into, make sure that you click the subscribe button below and hit that notification bell. Like this video and comment if anything strikes a nerve. Even if you're not looking to level up in your career, I'm pretty sure that you know someone who needs that motivation. So please be sure to share this video with them. And that's what inspired this video, because hindsight is such a blessing, but it's a shame that you don't have it at the time when you need to make big decisions. I remember back in the day, I used to feel really bad that I didn't pursue the creative path that I really wanted, because at the time I was passionate about modeling, fashion, and all of these things, but there was just a scary little demon on my shoulder that always told me, look, this is not going to work. Because at the time, for example, when I was modeling, I used to be one of the only Black models on the books, and you'd go for castings and they'd say things like, we already have one Black model. Are you mixed race? You look like you're mixed with something, so maybe we can figure something out. But it was always such a struggle. And in the UK at the time, there weren't that many Black models or really successful people in the world of fashion. So thankfully that's changed. So I made the decision at that point to follow something that I enjoyed but wasn't my passion, but I knew that would give me financial security, will put a roof over my head, and at least I would be able to afford the bills. Because when I used to go for modeling, guys, honestly, I was a university student, so that was fine at the time. But there were many times where I couldn't even afford the tube, the underground, what do you guys call it in the States? The train? The train to the castings, and I would take the bus for like 2 hours. And I was just like, you know what? I love this. It's fun. It's amazing, looking fabulous and strutting down the catwalk, but I don't think this thing's going to pay my bills. And it was a really hard decision to make because I had friends who were Black and doing big things like England's Next Top Model. I think that was what it was called. And I was like, well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? And I kept fighting until ultimately I made that decision, like, Dels, just focus on university, try and get a training contract, go for a job that will pay you well, and see if you can transition into fashion later. So this is just a tidbit into some of the advice that I'm going to give you later on in this video. If you change the way that you think about your passion and you think about what you think is necessary for you to work, then you realize that you can find something that will help you fuel that passion at the same time as fueling the other parts of your life that you need for satisfaction. So whether that's enough money to pay your bills, whether that's the kind of job that gives you work-life balance so that you can pursue this passion on the side. I think this is a very, very important part of the conversation that many people don't talk about or give you insight into when you're struggling, and they just say, oh, you just need to follow your passion, you just need to journal, see what you're good at. That's rubbish. So before I talk about things that you can do instead of blindly following your passion, I will talk about the reasons why I think that following your passion is dead and rubbish advice. Well, the first one is that it just assumes that passion is the only thing that we need for us to be happy at work. And I've already moaned about that earlier. The second is that it assumes that you can only have one passion, and that means that you need to focus on that one thing. How about if you're multifaceted? What happens then? What if you're interested in so many different things? Like I was interested in fashion, I was interested in writing. At one point, I wanted to be a music presenter. And for my UK people, you might know that I interviewed for this channel, this grime channel. Oh Lord, I don't know how I ended up there, called Channel U, where I wanted to be a presenter and I literally got booed off the couch. Like, I remember someone being like, who's the posh one? And I'm not posh at all, but I just didn't have what it took for that particular thing. And this is another thing. When you tell people to follow their passion and they tell you what that passion is, if they are rubbish at it, you have to tell them. I was about to swear just there, but I realized that this video is not going to see the light of day if I do that. But you have to tell them. What if you're passionate about something that you're not actually good at? If no one's going to pay you for that and you're stuck in la la land waiting for your big break, then you're doing yourself a disservice. We're living longer and longer and longer these days, and it doesn't make sense for you to be doing something that no one recognizes the value in. What can you do instead? How about you find a job that is aligned with your strengths and your skills? That could be if you really want to write a book and you think that you're good at creative writing, if you're good at copywriting. It may not be your passion, but you can leverage some of the skills that you have in writing to actually develop a career that maybe you work in corporate writing, where you help businesses write prospectuses. If you think it's too corporate and it's rubbish, then I think that's short-sighted, because you could get a job that is paying your bills, that is giving you the human interaction that we all need. If you have a good working relationship, you can go for drinks with your friends after work, things like that. Then it means that in your downtime, you have enough energy, you have enough resources to actually work on that thing that you want to do as your passion on the side. And you never know, as you get better and better at that, your passion could overtake your day job, which means that, hey, ultimately you're ending up where you wanted to be anyway. You're ending up in the path of your passion. But while you're nurturing your craft, while you are trying to figure things out, it's very, very important to realize that it's okay if you're confused. It's okay if you can't decide. But what you shouldn't do is get stuck with this feeling that you are not good enough, that you are stupid because you can't identify the path to follow that will lead you to your passion. I think that that's absolute rubbish. And if you're one of those people who feels like you have way too many passions and you can't decide which one to pick because you're getting torn in different directions and you don't want to make the wrong move, it's important for you to step out of theorizing and imagining to actually take action. And what does that mean? It means that even if you have a full-time job that you think is not your passion, you can do other things on the side that will give you deeper insight into these things that you think you're interested in. And you might want to consider it to transition as a new career. So for example, you could do an internship. You can ask someone who you admire doing the work that you do for an informational interview. So you chit chat with them and see what they do. Watch YouTube. Don't again get stuck in theorizing, but see what people who do the jobs or the type of work that you're interested in, see what their day-to-day life is like. See if you can possibly shadow them. It's very, very important for you to step out of your head and all of the wells of possibility in there to actually start taking steps, concrete steps. I say this all the time because even sometimes I get stuck in that mode, and it's what we call analysis paralysis. And on my Career Game Changer program, where I help career transitioners or people who are trying to navigate the next course of their career, one of the things that we do in the early stages of that program is hammering analysis paralysis to the ground. We help you figure out what it is that you truly want to do and that you identify your why. At this point, you're like, plug, yes. always be plugging things that are useful. If you're on this channel, I want you to have the utmost job and career satisfaction, work-life balance, because I think that life is to be lived and enjoyed and not to be snowed under. Again, please be sure to share this video with someone that you know will find it useful, especially if they're struggling with figuring out what they want to do next. Comment below. Don't forget, let me know what your passion or your passions are, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.